Well, hey,
Oh, hi. I didn't expect
flat
to see you here.
flat
I'd
Bill.
invited somebody else to this Zoom call.
Oh, sorry. Sorry to
Is what it is,
disappoint.
bro.
It is
It's
what it
okay,
is.
fam.
Welcome back to the Life Unfiltered show. Don't do it. Don't do
Life
it.
Unfiltered podcast show.
I am your host of the Life Unfiltered show, Ashley Deweese. And that is my lovely
Spoon
bearded
hands.
beau, Justin Deweese, who apparently is on some other podcast.
I'm the
Not this
co-host of the
one.
Life Unfiltered podcast show.
It's so dumb. We're not going to belabor this, but seriously,
I'm gonna have to
I don't
belabor it because
like
I'm
it
right,
and it
you're
just
wrong.
annoys me. Do you enjoy starting this off with me annoyed? Like, does it like toot your horn?
What else is it to be a husband except for to annoy your wife and toot your horn?
By the way, of like the word toot, which is just funny in and of itself.
See what I'm dealing with, people?
We had friends growing up that like their parents, like you couldn't, it was not okay to say fart. Like they said toot. You had to say toot.
Huh.
No, but I was thinking, which is so random, it's how my brain works. But like, didn't R. Kelly use the word toot in a ignition? Got that toot toot, got that beep beep, running your like talk
I
about
think
running your
that's
hands through my hair, but you just said toot toot.
I think that the use of the word toot is probably the least of R. Kelly's crimes against humanity. Can we agree on that?
We can't agree on that.
Can we just start there
I don't think they brought up the word toot in the documentary.
in the depositions
Right.
and the indictments?
We're not gonna go down that path, but anyways. Um,
Anyway,
how are you doing? How's your week?
oh,
How are
so
things?
far
How's
so
life?
good, huh?
How's life? How's the fitness journey going? We haven't mentioned that in a while.
It's going amazing. Still feeling great every day, challenging myself, pushing myself, dealing with your grumpy ass at the gym. I mean,
What?
it's a blessing, all of it.
What? How
Listen,
am I grumpy at the gym?
let me fill our beloved Lupsers in here.
With lies? Let me
Nope,
fill them with
nope,
lies?
nope, nope. And maybe I'll just video some of these interactions so they can.
Go for it. Do it.
My wife likes to go to the gym with me. She likes for us to have that time together,
Well, together, but not together. I mean, it's not
right?
like we
With the
work out to
caveat,
we worked out together more when we were working out at home in the garage than we do at the gym. Just
true,
saying.
because we were always doing the same program in the garage. Now we're doing
Correct.
different things,
Correct.
different days. Anyway, so she likes to go to the gym with me, but like that Instagram reel, at a distance. She needs me to maintain a healthy distance from her.
Oh my gosh, you are so like filling in blanks here. So you think
Oh, listen, love, been married to you. How long we been married?
almost 15 years. Well, not almost, but coming up on 15 years in July.
In
No,
11 months, we'll be at 15 years, so almost. Anyway,
I'm only on that train of thought because I just either yesterday or this morning, I was like, oh, because we were talking about dates of something else. And I was like, oh, like this is the year. Because we've talked about like doing something, like renewing our vows and doing something a little out of the ordinary for our 15th wedding anniversary. And I remember when we first started talking about that, my brain was a little disappointed because I'm like, oh, that's still X amount of years away. And I just realized, like I said, yesterday or this morning, like, oh, that's like
here it
this coming
is.
anniversary. So that's why I said, sorry, I used the wrong adjective.
So, anyway, I've been married to you for 14 years,
Hmm.
and I have become a fine discerner of the difference between your steady state resting bitch face and your amped up, don't talk to me, get away from me active bitch face.
But
So
it's not like a personal thing. It's
I
more
did.
of just,
Whoa, Francis, pump the brakes. Did I say that it was a personal thing?
I was just
No,
clarifying for the listeners that it wasn't like there's, it's like I need you to get away from me. Like, it's more like, I don't
it's more
want
like
anyone around me.
everyone, all of existence.
Well, I mean, I looked at you that way this morning and it had nothing to
Yeah,
do with
no
you.
shit.
It had to do with the fact that it is this time of the month. I was amidst a very challenging leg day in which I was pushing myself to lift heavier than I have previous weeks. And it was hot in there and I was all sweaty. And all of that was just enough for me to like deal. And so I just didn't want anyone else in my space.
Because here's the other thing, gang, that you need to learn about my wife. Again, very similar to an Instagram meme. And I think that she herself sometimes forgets this. Her face has subtitles.
It
You know,
does.
like when you're watching a movie and you can't quite hear what the characters are saying, so you turn on the subtitles so you can read what they're saying and make sure you truly catch the gist of everything.
Mhm.
My beautiful wife forgets that her face has subtitles. So she may be telling you, I love you, but the subtitles are saying, and I'm going to choke you.
Hey,
The second part of that gift is because she forgets her face has subtitles, then she's like, well, why did you react that way when I said I loved you? Because you looked like you were going to murder me. So, I'm trying taking the whole package here.
I mean, God just blessed some of us, I suppose, in being able to speak
Yes,
without speaking.
blessed.
On that note,
On that note, how's your journey going?
it's going great.
I'm gonna grab my coffee. Keep talking.
Um, this is like the person that asks you the question that they don't really give a shit about your response. They're just asking you a question to like be polite. That's exactly what just went down there.
Okay, first off, Rocket Pants, I can still hear you when I walk over there to get my coffee. Okay?
Rocket. We've been married for 14 years. I think that's the first one. I mean, you say a lot of things come out your mouth. I think that's the first time I've heard
So
rocket.
I asked the question because I care, because our listeners need to know, and because I could still hear you.
It's going really,
So,
really, it's going really, really well. Still learning a lot about myself and the process, which I think just to kind of reiterate things that we've said before and to give a little mini nug to our listeners is that the journey of growth, it's ever evolving. Like you should be always like uncovering new things about yourself and about the processes in your life, even if some of those processes are the same or very similar to what you've been doing for quite some time. Um, you know, when we talk about this current leg or era of our fitness and health journey, like there's times that my brain is going like, you better clarify because like it kind of sounds like you're doing something entirely new or you're saying and talking about things that you didn't know before. And no, that's not really it whatsoever. It's just we're going deeper, right? I think
right,
some things, in the journey of growth, it's like you are uncovering brand new things, right? You need to. Um, but also part of the growth process is to go from surface level understanding to deeper levels of understanding. And I feel that like that's probably a good description of this current era that we're in is what we're doing right now, and our mentors and coaches that we're working with are helping us to, sure, learn a few new things, but more so than that, helping us to go deeper with the foundations of what we already knew.
Well, I mean, I was reading a thing on growth and mastery yesterday, right? And this guy was saying that when you are growing and mastering something, like you will continue to learn even from the most basic things,
Mm-hmm.
right? And he related it to a story that's been told of when Kobe Bryant was on the Olympic team. They had JJ Redick in, who was a college player or maybe going into the NBA. And after practice one day, Kobe asked JJ to stick around and shoot with him. And JJ Redick says, "Oh, I was just like, whoa, Kobe wants to work with me." And JJ said he realized that the reason Kobe did that was he watched and learned from how JJ was shooting his 3 pointers and whatnot. And this was at a time when Kobe was considered the best active player of
When Kobe was
basketball
Kobe.
on the planet.
Mhm.
And yet he was doing this
Yeah.
simple shooting drill and learning from a college kid, right? And I think sometimes we lose sight of that we get to this point where we feel like we know all the things. And yeah, you may know a lot, but if you find yourself sitting there thinking that you know all these things,
Mhm.
then you put a cap on your growth because the quote unquote masters, the people that will continue growing, get something out of even doing the most basic fundamental thing that maybe they've done 10,000 times and go, "Oh,
Yeah, like and I believe you're right in that. And I think that it can be twofold because they're first and foremost, they're the people that have this idea or story that, once you learn something, once you learn the way, then that's what you just stamp out for the rest of your life. Like, oh, I've learned the formula, so now I just repeat that formula exactly the same way for the rest of my life. And so on that level, like you said, no, like you should be looking to continue to like evolve that formula, and can it be better, and can I execute it better, et cetera. I think the second place where there's sometimes some misconception, or I don't know if that's the right word, um, or not as great of understanding, which is what I've been experiencing for just a little bit with this process, is not so much for myself. Like I grasp the concept that no matter where you are, you can always learn from someone else and learn
absolutely."
more. And that doesn't mean anything about your knowledge or your ability, right? So
Right.
what I'm talking about is, obviously we are both coaches. And so we're both coaches, and we've been helping other people for years now get into like better health practices and to grow their mind and to lose weight and get in better shape. We've been doing that for a long time. And so for us right now, where we are taking our own health to a higher level, when we are taking our own health to a higher level, something that's gone through my head is, well, what I wonder, like, what is the outward perception of those who are aware that we're working with coaches to help us go to the next level? Like, are there people going, well, if someone else is like mentoring them right now or coaching them right now on their health and fitness to evolve their body and to evolve their minds at this point, then how in the hell are they coaching other people on what to do? And I think there's some people out there who probably think that.
Sure.
And because, tying back in, there is for some this misconception that once you learn the info, that's all there is to learn.
Right.
Whereas what I know to be true is that your very best mentors and coaches in your life will forever be being mentored and coached by someone else while they are mentoring and coaching you.
Right. Well, I mean, that's like the example I always use is Tiger Woods when he was at his peak. He had four different coaches,
Mm-hmm.
and he was the best golfer on the damn planet.
Right. That didn't mean that Tiger Woods didn't know
And
what
that'd
he
be
was
like if he
doing.
showed up at the driving range at the same time I was there, I wouldn't go, you've got coaches. I'm not listening to you. What could you tell me?
Right. Well, no, but
Be
that's what
ignorant.
I'm saying. And that it crossed my mind briefly of like, man, like when we first made the decision to do this, it crossed my mind briefly that like I was like, are my clients going to think that like I don't know what I'm doing if I have to have someone else helping me with my body
Sure.
transformation at this stage? And like I said, like what I've come back to is one, if they think that, like that's on them. But two, like, no, like they should be like, man, I'm like super grateful that the person I've hired to mentor and coach me is investing in her own
Well, right.
growth
That
and
that's
transformation and forward movement for herself through higher level people.
that's really the framework that you should have, right? Because if you, in whatever aspect of whatever you're pursuing, if you are looking for a coach or a mentor, you should ask that person, who's your
Who's
coach
your
or mentor?
coach? Mm-hmm.
Because if they don't have one, you don't want to work with that person.
Right.
Because again, that goes back to that uh, syndrome of know-it-allness, right?
Yep.
And so that the coach who has no coach is going to be very dogmatic and very, this is the way, there's no other way, and nothing else can possibly be done. Whereas the coach who is working with a coach or coaches,
Mm-hmm.
like they're constantly being exposed to new ideas, to new ways of looking at maybe a problem they've looked at 100 times, but now they're turning that metaphorical cube around and seeing the other side for the first time. So,
Well,
yeah,
and how many times, I mean, have any of our coaches that we have had over the years, but even just with one of our current coach, like how many times has he referenced like when I was on the call with my coach the other day, or
right,
I just hired this new coach in this particular area of my life,
right,
and we were talking about X, Y, and Z, right? Like, and there's again, let me help you out, listeners. Like, there's another nug for you right there. I think that's a great filtering question as you are looking to hire a coach in your life, whether it's a family coach, a marriage coach, a health and fitness coach, a business coach. That is an absolutely great question to ask of the
right.
potential coaches that you're going to hire is who's coaching you right now? So,
Because quite honestly, we all need coached.
absolutely.
So,
Well, and in addition to the fact that, you want the person who's mentoring you to be practicing what they're asking you to practice, right? Only at the level that they need to. Um, the other part of that I think is so awesome is that when your coach is being coached by someone, like you also get to benefit from that.
right,
Right? You don't only get to benefit from what your coach's gift is and his or her area of expertise and whatnot and her style and vibe, but then you're also going to get to benefit from the things that they're learning and the new growth that they're experiencing
right,
because of their investment in themselves. Like that's just the
right.
way that
It's
it should work.
trickle down coachonomics.
Yep. So speaking of coaching,
Oh boy.
um, as we were coming back from the gym today, you and I were having a conversation about this, and I was like, that might be good to talk about today. And that is, this is going to sound like a complete like jumping the shark, but it's not really. Um, is what you're doing moving the needle? in the right direction? Is what you're doing moving the needle in the right direction? So, whatever area you are currently working to grow in, if you have weight loss goals, if you have just strength goals, body physique goals, health goals, business goals, relationship goals, I don't care what the area is, but is what you're doing actually moving the needle to get you closer to the outcomes that you want? And what brought up that question for me this morning is, and this is no judgment on these people that I'm going to reference. Okay. First of all, let me just say, if you are attempting to take any sort of action at all toward your goals, I commend you, because there's a lot of people that are not.
Right.
Right. So I like literally definitely on your team cheering for you if you are taking some kind of action toward the goals that you have and achieving them. That being said, you cannot stop there, because if you're taking action towards your goals, but it's not moving the needle, like you're not actually moving closer to the outcome that you want, then it's kind of like, what's the freaking point, right? Like, if I have a goal to lose 20 pounds by December, and I decide that I am going to start wearing workout clothes every single day because I want to lose 20 pounds by December, one would say, hey, that's a step in the right direction, right? Like, you bought workout clothes,
Sure.
you bought the workout shoes. But if all I'm doing is every single day putting on those workout clothes and putting on my tennis shoes, and my ultimate goal is to lose 20 pounds by December, is that action moving the needle toward me accomplishing my goals? And the answer is, it was a step, but then there's no more movement. I'm just repeating the same action over and over again. That initially was a step in the right direction, but it can't take me any further than where I'm at. So now the time that I'm spending to put on those clothes every single day, or to buy different workout outfits and workout shoes, is really just kind of stolen time, stolen finances, because it's not actually continuing to progress me. You see
Right.
what
And
I'm
I
saying?
think, oh yeah, no, I picking up what you're putting down. I think that the biggest danger is the question that you asked about midway through that rant of what's the point? Right. And that's dangerous because if the actions you're taking towards your goal are not actually moving the needle toward your goal, there will come a point where you're going to ask yourself, what's the point? Why do I keep going to the gym every day if I'm not actually making any progress towards my goals, whatever those goals are? And then you're going to give up. And then you're damn sure not going to reach those goals because now you're not even taking, standing still action.
Well, and you're telling yourself the story that, see, I took action and it didn't matter. I wasn't able to get to my goals. When the real facts there is not that you didn't take action, but you weren't continuing to take the right action to move you closer to those goals.
And the thing is, maybe right now you don't know what the right action is, right? That goes back to what we were talking about at the start of this podcast of being on that journey of growth and realizing that you don't know everything that you need to know and constantly pursuing different answers to different questions.
And not just assuming that this one thing I tried
Right,
means that it's not possible for me.
right.
Um, And I lost my train of thought. I'm going to give you a more concrete. Obviously, I did like a little Ashleyism with the example
Of
there.
course you did.
But specifically this morning, you know, I witnessed people on the treadmill, people on that freaking stair climber thing. And I only say that not because it's not like a great machine and I've been on it, I think twice, and ugh, it's challenging. But I witness women in particular, but but men as well at our gym who we see frequently that are there. Sometimes they're lifting, sometimes they're on the treadmill the whole time, or on the stair thing the whole time, or they're a combination of both. But there's no change happening. And I say that with we've been going long enough and seeing the same faces and being in the coaching, position that we're in, like you will by this point that we should see some visible changes visibly, because again, not all change happens on the outside. I'm a huge fan of that, right? A lot of stuff happens on the inside, all that stuff. But like at this point, with as long as we've been going to this gym and seeing some of the same faces, like we've changed. Let's just look at that, right? Like let's use us as an example. Like from the time we made the decision to get the gym membership and started going to now, we look different. And the people going there should be able, if you interviewed them, they would be able to, if they, they probably don't pay attention to us, but like if they did, they'd be like, yeah, they look different, right? At least a little bit. And there's people there that you can't tell that. And like I said, I'm not saying this from a place of judgment. I'm saying it from a place of like, if you're going to invest that time in yourself, time more so than even the finances in my book, but there needs to be a payoff. There should be a payoff. And I'll say that, there are some people that they don't give a shit. They're not trying to change their body no matter what it looks like. They're not trying to change. They literally maybe are just going there because
they're just blowing off some steam so they don't murder a bunch of people.
So set that category of people aside. But there are people going because they do want to lose weight or they do want to change what their body looks like in their health. And that's not, it's not happening. And so to that, I just wanted to bring this up because one, you have to have a minimum level of self-awareness to be able to pause every so often and ask yourself the question, is what I'm currently doing, are the actions that I'm currently taking that I believe are moving me toward my goal or closer to my goal, are they actually?
Right.
And if the answer is yes, great. Continue doing that. But if the answer is no, like if you've been going to the gym for 4 months and you've been doing the stair climber with goals for your body, and you've been doing the stair climber every single day or whatever it is you've been doing, and you're like, hey, I've been taking this action. I've been going to the gym X amount of days a week for the last 4 months. And when I look at my weight loss goal, I've lost a pound in 4 months. Then one might say to themselves, you know what? Maybe I'm missing something here. And not, this is an add-on here. Not maybe what I'm doing isn't working.
Right.
Because sometimes it's not that what you're doing isn't working or isn't something that you should be doing to move toward your goal, but there are other important things that you should also be doing. So again, staying in the space of like weight loss, for example, going to a gym or a workout class consistently is absolutely a positive action to take that will begin to move you toward your goals. However, if you're ultimately not doing anything in regard to your nutrition, then there will be a point where that needle is not moving. Right. You're not moving closer. So it's not that you need to stop doing the stair climber. I mean, that's a podcast for another day. But it's not that you necessarily need to stop doing the stair climber at the gym. Keep doing that. But like we need to add something else with this in order for you to truly continue to be progressing. So we need to start addressing your nutrition. And the reason that I wanted to bring this up is from a place of love in my heart, because, with my own story of going from fat to fit, to keep it simple, I know what that feels like, to be in a place where you want to change what your body looks like, you want to feel better in your own skin, and you start taking measures and still it feels like nothing's changing and nothing's happening. And so being on the other side of fat and now fit, um, going like, man, I want as many women as I can impact to get to this place where they can feel as good as I do and look the way that they want. Like, I want that for them. And so to see women going in and slaving away, not seeming to really make much progress, I wanted to bring up this topic because, in addition, then, not just do you feel the weight of not making progress, but like the people in your life, they're impacted by that too. So, like, if I'm taking 45 minutes to work out 5 days a week, or to travel to the gym and work out and travel home, like, that's time away from people in my life, unless I'm like
Right.
single and it doesn't matter. Right. But that's time away from my spouse. That's time away from my children. That might be time away from work things that I need to be doing. That might be time away from, not just time away from my husband, for example, but maybe that's time that my husband is stepping up, to pull some additional weight so that I can take that time, and vice versa. Men, the same thing. Finances, if I'm investing money in a gym membership, for example, or a workout class, like, that's money that's going out to that thing for me to do to move the needle toward my goals. And if it's not moving the needle, then again, that's a cost that's coming at a cost. So if you're going to be investing time and finances and energy into these actions to move you closer to the goals, but the actions aren't actually moving you closer to your goals, you have to have the awareness to be like, something needs to change here. I need to do something differently. And if I don't know what to do, then I need to seek outside assistance and guidance and coaching or mentorship to help me so that I can maximize my investments.
Right. Well, and not only that, but from a larger community perspective, if you're spending all that time going to the gym and not having any tangible, visible results, then other people may look at you and be like, well, why would I do that?
Right.
Right. And now they've got a reason to not go to the gym, when I think you and I share the same opinion that like everybody should be working out and moving their body every day.
Right. Not
Right. And
like
I think
not
it,
necessarily going to the gym, but like
right.
exercise,
And
training.
maybe you're thinking, well, I don't give two shits if my neighbor feels inspired or demotivated by me. Cool. What about your kids? What about your spouse? Right. Because if you, and we've heard this from a lot of the people that we work with, um, well, I want to do this, but my spouse just isn't on board with it and just doesn't want anything to do with it at this point. And you care about that person and you want them to be healthy,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so if you spend all this time going to the gym and accomplishing nothing except for spending that time and money, like they're never going to get on board with it, because they're going to look at it like, well, why would I give up 45 minutes of my day to not have anything change?
Yeah. And let's take that point and let's also go this additional direction with it, of how that can create resistance and challenge for
Right.
you. A lot, I I coach women in helping them lose weight, change their bodies, feel stronger and more powerful in their own body, their skin, and their life. And one of the things that they are notorious for talking about is that they have a hard time getting the kind of support that they want from their significant other. And as we unpack that conversation, there typically is a history of the wife. And again, this can go for males too, but I coach females. Like the wife, like she has a history of stopping and starting things. She has a history of investing time and finances and her mental energy to losing weight, but yet doesn't end up having results that show for it. So if I'm a significant other, and this would be the same for me if it was you doing the thing, like
Right.
if you were going and investing money into a personal trainer or a workout class or a gym membership or a business coaching mastermind or whatever, and over and over again, like there were no tangible results to be seen, like there will come a point where I start getting like resentful of what you're
Right.
doing, where I start questioning what you're doing, where I'm not overly enthused or maybe as supportive as I might have been initially, because it's like, this isn't my first rodeo with you, right?
Right.
And this is what I tell my clients, like, you have shown a pattern of a lack of results from the things that you're doing, yet continuing to ask for your significant other or your family, extended family and friends support on. And so now, like, because of that, because of you taking action, but like not having any fruit to show for it, people start looking at you and they're like, well, why do I want to step up and like do the dishes tonight and watch the kids a bit longer, or not go participate in this thing that costs money because that money's going to the workout class or gym membership or business mastermind, when you continue to not have results from it?
Right.
I think those are pieces that people don't put together. And all of those are really like, what do they call them, second and third order consequences of our
Right.
actions, because like the first order consequences are you're investing time, energy, and finances into things that are not producing results for you directly. And then the second and third order consequences of those is how you not getting those results while investing those things are affecting and impacting the other people and areas of your life in a negative way.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, there's quite honestly, you and I could probably go on and 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 on about this.
Yeah.
But at the risk of this turning into a Joe Rogan-esque 3 hour podcast adventure, I feel like it's probably a good spot to start wrapping up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I mean, go ahead. Yep. You're the great rapper upper.
no. I'm cueing you wrapping up.
Oh,
So what are the three things that people need to take away from what we've just shared and talked about?
from all of it today?
No, just the last 45 seconds. Yeah, all of it. Come on.
My three things would be number one, that this is a 1A and 1B.
Oh
One,
boy.
everybody needs at least one coach or mentor in their life for whatever the current main focus is for you, main focus, main area of growth goals.
Okay.
And 1B is making sure that that coach or mentor has their own
Right.
coach or mentor.
Okay.
Number two, having the awareness to periodically stop and ask yourself, are the actions I'm taking actually creating progress toward the outcome that I desire?
That's a good one.
And three, understanding that my actions and more importantly, the results of my actions, that the results of my actions are influencing / impacting people around me? And how do I want to be influencing and impacting them via
Man,
my results or lack thereof?
you just put the most beautiful bow on the gift that this episode is for everybody. And if I can just say before we close this puppy out, I am continually inspired and awed by your passion to help other people and to have a positive impact on not only yourself, but those in our house and those worldwide. So I love you and I appreciate you for that. Come, just let it go, man. Quit trying to hold it in. What are you doing?
The good thing I wore a hat today. Thank
So
you.
I'm just grateful to be on this journey with you.
Thank you. I am grateful to have a significant other that believes in me unconditionally, loves me unconditionally, and who verbalizes the support of my passion because I think for anyone, when you have something that you believe in so deeply and a mission that you believe that you're on to serve and impact others, for me, I want people to know and see that passion. And sometimes you can feel like, but do they really? And so your constant encouragement and reinforcement that my heart and my passion can be seen is very helpful in me continuing to keep the fire lit and keep the mission moving forward. So thank you.
And so, you beautiful listeners, if you would like to unconditionally love and support and cheer us on and have impact in the world at large, like, comment, and share the heck out of this thing.
Yeah.
Share it with the people that you love. Share it with strangers. Just grab people on the side of the road and put this in their phone and have them give a listen.
Well, I used to always think like, what can I do? Like what can I do to actually like change the world or help people? And whether it's our show or someone else's show, but literally like clicking a simple button of share
Right.
to your social media or sending a link to someone and just say, hey, check this out. I thought it was a really good episode. It literally could be life-changing, dare I say, life-saving for someone.
Well, here's the deal. Here's the deal. You have zero problem sending the meme
right?
of the kitty cat and Taylor Swift. And that's not helping anybody. Sure, you get a little giggle, but it's not having a positive impact on their life.
Well, or
this show
sharing,
will,
since we're on the topic, like sharing some meme or joke that laughs at like how overweight you are or how unhealthy you are, right? Like those are all over the place.
Stop. We got to wrap this up. You're gonna get going, and it's never gonna stop.
I will.
So stop.
So thank you. We appreciate you listening. Our hope is that you always grab at least one thing from here and don't just keep it in your brain.
No,
go and
it.
Actually implement
Spread that manure.
it. Go and actually implement something that you've learned from an episode in your life, and share that with us. Like what's some course of action that you've taken in your life or something that you've recently accomplished in your life as a result of some little thing that you maybe heard on our show. Like that brings joy to our life, and everybody needs a little bit more joy in their life. So anyways, thank you so much for listening. We'll catch you next week.